Hello, Wonderhussy here, standing at the side of US 50 in central Nevada, aka the loneliest road in America. Only it's not too lonely right now because there's an annular eclipse happening tomorrow morning, and everyone and their Aunt Sally is driving east on the loneliest road to the Utah border, including me. That's right, I want to go check out this annular eclipse. Okay, it's not a full eclipse like the one back in, when was that, 2017, 2018, where the sun was totally blotted out. This is just an annular eclipse where I guess the moon will go in front of the sun and block it almost completely out, leaving just a ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. Yes, sir, a ring of fire. This I gotta see, so I'm driving all the way to the little town of Baker, Nevada to check it out for myself. Okay, apologies for the fact that my windshield is so dirty. I'm planning to clean it off when I get gas. There just aren't that many gas stations on the loneliest road. In fact, that's why they call it the loneliest road in America. It was given that name in, I think, 1984, 1985 by Life magazine. Okay, Life magazine did a whole spread, and I actually have a copy of it, about this vast and lonely highway that goes through some very, and I do mean very, desolate territory. Now, US 50 actually goes across, I think, the whole country from California all the way to, I think, Maryland. But the portion in Nevada, specifically the portion from Fallon, Nevada to the Utah border, was dubbed the loneliest road in America because it is exceptionally desolate. There aren't very many gas stations, which is why I haven't been able to clean my windshield. And yes, that is an avocado ripening on my dashboard. I think I'm gonna have to cook my own food because where I'm going, well, it's not like there's a bunch of cafes. Actually, I guess there are a few places to eat in the town of Baker, Nevada, which if you've ever been there, or if you happen to watch my series of videos in which I traveled the loneliest road back in summer 2020, well, you know that Baker, Nevada isn't very big and there's not that much going on there. And if the amount of traffic I've seen on this highway is any indication, and you might go, well, gee, Wonderhussy, you call this traffic? I mean, 1, 2, couple more cars ahead? Well, yeah, I do call this traffic because when I drove this highway back in summer 2020, gosh, I hardly saw any other cars at all. So if all these people, or at least the ones headed in my direction, are going to Baker, well, there's no way I'm going to be able to get a meal at one of the cafes. So I'm cooking my own dinner, and that's why I'm ripening that avocado. Anyway, unfortunately, the skies are pretty overcast today, which isn't very good for viewing an annular eclipse. You know, you want to be able to see the sun so you can see the ring of fire. According to the weather report, it's supposed to be partly cloudy tomorrow. The eclipse is supposed to be at, I think, 8 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. Mountain time. I'm not exactly sure because where I'm going is right on the time zone boundary. Oh yeah, I guess I should mention the reason I'm driving so far to check out this eclipse. Yeah, if I stayed at home, I would have been able to see it okay. I think where I live is supposed to be like an 80% eclipse. Well, I want to be in the path of totality. Okay, that's what they call it when you're right underneath the exact path that I guess the sun is traveling and the moon is traveling at the same time, and so you'll get the maximum effect, the maximum blockage, as it were. And so I looked on a map and saw the places where this path of totality was, and Baker, Nevada kind of stood out. And also somebody told me they were having an eclipse festival there. So I thought it would be a good place to go see for myself what this ring of fire is all about. Oh well, At least my windshield looks better. Coming into Ely. I think they're having a big eclipse festival here, and I thought about staying in Ely, but I'm camping and it's really cold here at night. And besides, I kind of like the idea of going all the way to Baker. There's this weird motel right on the state line of Nevada, Utah. It's kind of outside the town of Baker, called the Border Inn. And somebody told me they're having some kind of festival there. So that's where I'm headed. Oh, see what I mean about this being absolutely desolate country? That's what makes this Border Inn so interesting, in my opinion. It's out in the literal friggin' middle of nowhere. You can see it appearing in the distance. And you know what? It doesn't really look like there's any festival going on here to me. Wouldn't it be just my luck to drive all the way out here for nothing? Well, it's not for nothing. I mean, I'm still gonna be able to see the eclipse. And you know what? I'm gonna go in this little store. They have a little convenience store. And I'm gonna see if they have eclipse viewing glasses. You know, you're supposed to wear those special sunglasses. You're not supposed to stare directly at the eclipse. Well, I don't have any. I guess I should have thought of that before I came out here. Awesome! I love how they even put the date on it, April 8th. Oh, these are for the total eclipse, April 8th, 2024. These aren't even for the annular eclipse. There is a ring of fire on the front. I don't know. I'm planning to go to the total eclipse in April as well. More on that later. So I feel like this is $3 well spent either way. Okay, well, the guy in there was real nice, and he said they're having a dinner special with brisket and potato salad and baked beans. He had a real thick accent. Very nice man. Unfortunately, I don't really like brisket, potato salad, or baked beans. And I told him, I gotta find a place to camp because it's getting dark since there's no super duper festival going on here. He did tell me I was welcome to camp in the parking lot, but you know, camping in a parking lot just isn't that nice. I have enough daylight left where I think I could cruise out into the desert and find a nice place. Only question is, well, I camped back on the Nevada side on the mountain pass coming in here when I did my Loneliest Road trip. So I know there's a nice campsite up there. But I don't know, what if I want to go camp in Utah? I haven't been to Utah in a while. Maybe I just ought to go to that side of the border. Wow, Utah looks a lot like Nevada. Okay, I gotta stop fooling around. It's already, well, I'm in mountain time now, but I'm just gonna stay on Pacific time. It's 5:43. I figure I have about maybe 45 minutes of daylight left. And there's somebody following me. I just took some random dirt road off the highway because I was going to try to find a nice, peaceful place to camp and be alone. And this other SUV was on my nuts on the highway the whole time and took the same turn as me. So I don't know what the deal is. I mean, I took the first Forest Service road in Utah, so maybe they're doing the same thing I'm doing. But it's still somewhat unsettling. I want to be alone. I'll keep going for a while, try to find a place to pull over and let them pass me. I guess that's one of the hazards of being a solo female traveler. You know, you never know. I don't like other people camping. I like to be out of eyeshot of anyone. In fact, last night where I camped, I could see the city lights in the distance, and even that kind of weirded me out. You know, the closer you are to a city, the closer you are to trouble. And people ask me all the time, oh, Wonderhussy, don't you worry about camping all alone in the middle of nowhere? Well, that's where I feel safest. When there's no one else around. All right, I pulled over at this turn here, and I was gonna wait for this person who was following me. Apparently it's like Grand Central Station out here. Anyway, I was gonna wait for this person who was following me to just pass. But come to find out, when I pulled over, they go, "Hey, Wonderhussy!" And it turned out to be somebody who follows me. And what's your name, sir?
Bob from Indiana.
So you follow me literally and figuratively.
I emailed you. I was going out west, and I pulled up at the Utah sign.
Yep.
Right by
right at the state line, right in Baker.
And I saw you going out, and I'm like waving, Sarah, Sarah.
Oh,
so I thought I'd follow
you.
Then she goes off the road, which she does, and I have a CRV not meant for that.
Oh my gosh! So what happened?
Well, you kicked the rock up and cracked my windshield. Well,
oh dear, look, I got a chip. Well, your insurance will fix that, but that's what happens when you stalk Wonderhussy. Bob.
0 chance of
I'm just kidding.
I'm
kidding.
I'm like a huge fan of yours.
No, you're wonderful.
I watch all your
I know
videos.
he's emailed me before. It's all good. But listen.
I sent you to Diana the Dunes book. You got to come to the Indiana Dunes National Park. She ran
cool.
naked on the beach.
Diana of the Dunes and the Indiana Dunes. I am definitely going to make it to Indiana one of these days.
Oh my God, I'm so
just
nervous.
not tonight. All right, listen. I'm gonna wrap this up.
Okay.
I'll catch up with everybody in a minute.
On Earth, right here. And how come I happen to be wearing the Death Valley shirt when I meet Sarah?
What are the odds?
What are the odds?
Bye! Now, before you make any nasty remarks in the comments, Bob really was a cool guy, and I did recognize his name. He sent me gas money in the past, so it was the least I could do to stop and chat with him for a minute, especially considering the insane odds of him running into me out here in the literal middle of nowhere. I hadn't said anything publicly about where I was going to watch the eclipse, so he had no way of knowing I'd be here. But imagine, he had driven all the way out from friggin' northern Indiana and was just tooling around the west, checking out a bunch of places where I shot videos, and then he randomly happens to see me at a convenience store in freaking Baker? It must have totally blown his mind. So I can't really blame him for chasing me down. All right, I think I found a campsite that meets my needs, and not a moment too soon because it is getting dark. I just kind of drove up that 2-track all the way almost up into the mountains, but I didn't really want to go too high because it's cold enough as it is down here. No one is gonna mess with me here. There ain't another living soul around. This is exactly the way I like to camp. I was telling you guys, I don't like to be able to see, well, I can see lights on US 50 in the distance. All these little lights you see, those are cars. And then I can even see the lights from the little border inn there in the distance. I could be sitting in there right now eating brisket and baked beans, but here I am. I'm just gonna get my bed ready because I need to get to sleep at a reasonable hour if I'm going to be up in time to catch this eclipse. Oh, darn it. It's overcast. Oh. That means we're not going to be able to see the eclipse. Look at that, the beautiful sun coming up over the mountains. But the sky, well, I was going to say it's covered in a low blanket of clouds, but it's really not. It's clear-ish over there. And it's chilly. Anyway, I think this eclipse is supposed to start in about an hour. So we have 1 hour for all these clouds to blow away. But clouds or no clouds, it's an absolutely beautiful morning overlooking this mind-bogglingly desolate desert valley where I camped last night. With the light on the mountains over there. Absolutely beautiful. Those cool stripy patterns with the morning sun and the shadows. Ugh, I'm not up this time of day very often, but when I am, I love it. Okay, it's 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, depending on which time zone I want to say I'm in. I should note, Mountain time is right where I'm camped. Pacific time is right over there at the border end. So it's, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Anyway, it's time for the friggin' eclipse. And fortunately, the skies have cleared up almost completely. There's just a little bit of haze or, well, chemtrails if you're into that kind of thing. But you can see the sun. Got my coffee, got my eclipse glasses. Let's see what this ring of fire is all about. I can't imagine these cheap, these are $3 cardboard glasses. Oh, wow. Holy moly, wow, this is cool. Wow, so I can see the moon. Oh, I don't know, can you guys even see me? Oh, sorry, I can't see my camera when I'm wearing these. I can see the moon coming down over the sun at the very top. It looks like it's gonna blot it out, or well, at least partially blot it out. Wow. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't look like my cell phone camera is picking any of that up. Darn it. I wonder if I try putting these eclipse glasses over the lens of the camera, maybe you guys will be able to see it then. Let me try that. Let's see. Oh, wow, yeah. It does work. Oh my gosh. How about that? Well, I don't know. I'm gonna have to zoom way in. I don't know if you guys can see. This is obviously not the best video equipment, but you can maybe kind of see the top of the sun has like a little dip in it, little cut into it from the moon. I don't know. Could you guys even see anything? Well, maybe when it gets more dramatic, when the moon moves. Oh god, I gotta switch back. When the moon moves even farther in front of the sun, I'll try shooting some more footage then. Wow, this is super freaking cool. And it makes me really upset with myself that I didn't watch that full total eclipse back in, what was that, 2017? There was that total eclipse. And I happened to be right in the path of totality. It was, gosh, I feel like it was August, early August, mid-August 2017. My sister and I were up in Idaho looking for the Fen treasure. But I had to leave because I had to go home and start getting ready for Burning Man. I had some editing I had to do. I had work to do. And so even though the eclipse was the very next day and my sister was going to stay up there to watch it, I left. And I remember saying, oh, well, supposedly you'll be able to see it 80% of it from Vegas. I'll just look out my window in Vegas. Well, it turned out it happened to be overcast in Vegas that day. There was a monsoon. So I didn't see any of it. And I don't know, I guess I just felt like, hey, eclipse, what's the big deal? I'm not going to stay up here and get behind on my work for an eclipse. Well, then, of course, I heard everybody's stories who did watch it and how amazing it was. And it blotted out the sun totally. And all the animals started acting weird. Because I guess during an eclipse, especially a full eclipse, the animals get confused. They think it's nighttime. And so cows and horses will start bedding down for the night. And all the crickets will start chirping. And birds will start flying around looking for a place to nest for the night. It had to be amazing. I'm very disappointed with myself, like I said, that I didn't watch it. But guess what? The good news is, I alluded to this earlier, there's another total eclipse coming in April. This coming April, 2024. Like it says on the dang glasses. And that one is going to be in the eastern half of the United States, okay? Why should the West Coast get all the fun? We got the last two. Well, the next total eclipse is going to come down, I think, from like New York through Texas. And my original thought was, I'll go to Big Bend National Park. There's a hot spring there on the Rio Grande River. And I even went there a few years ago to scope it out, and it would be an awesome place to watch an eclipse. But come to find out, that's not actually in the path of totality. Texas is a big state. It don't go through Big Bend. So instead, I'm going to go to Arkansas because I got my girlfriend Gina and another girlfriend also named Gina, believe it or not. And the other Gina has a boat. And so we're going to go out onto Lake Washita. There's all these islands you can camp on. We're going to camp out on an island and watch the eclipse there. And maybe, we might indulge in some, we might drink some tea. Let's just say that. Right now, though, I'm sober as a judge. Oh, wow, look. Surely you guys can see that now. You can see the moon coming in. It's like somebody took a bite out of a cookie. Like Cookie Monster took a bite out of a cookie. Wow, that is so cool. the celestial ballet. Or what did Carl Sagan call it? The cosmic ballet. The ballet of the cosmos. All those planets moving around, flying around, doing their thing, while we down here on Earth are mired in our own petty miseries. Golly, I feel like I gotta get a better pair of Eclipse glasses before I go to Arkansas, because these don't stay on very well. Holy cow, this is amazing. I'm gonna toast the moon and toast the sun. And if you're watching this and you're, I don't know what time of day it is, if you're drinking a cocktail or drinking a cup of coffee, toast the cosmic ballet with me, because it is beautiful. Cheers! What a way to spend the morning. Man, some more clouds moved in, and so unfortunately, they are kind of blocking the sun a little bit, and they made it get kind of chilly. Oh dang, yeah, well, they're kind of blocking the sun, but you can still see it pretty good because the clouds aren't super thick, at least, and they're moving, and it really is starting to look like a ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the clouds came in and ruined it. Gosh, I'm probably frying my camera sensor doing this, but I just want you guys to be able to see how friggin' cool this is. The sun almost looks like a crescent moon, or like a smiley face. The sky's smiling at me. Wow, we're getting there. It's almost at the Ring of Fire stage. And you know what I just realized? The reason I got chilly and had to put my jacket back on wasn't because there's clouds in front of the sun. It's because the freaking moon is blocking out the sun. I mean, look at this. I don't know if you can tell how the light has changed all across the desert here. It's definitely noticeably dimmer. It kind of has this weird, like, moonlight feel. I can still see my shadow, so apparently there's still plenty of sun. But yeah, I don't know. The quality of the light has definitely changed. It's weird though, because in the camera it still looks like there's a ton of sun left. But I'm here to tell you, man, looking through these glasses, it is like a neon orange circle in the sky. It's pretty cool. Oh man, I wonder why it looks like that on the camera. You can see the moon right in the middle of the sun, but when I look at it, there's hardly any sun. It's all moon. But on the camera, it just looks like there's this big dot in the middle. But I don't know, at least you can still get the idea. Kind of like a big glowing donut in the sky. Oh man, now I want donuts. Wow, this is so cool. You know what it looks like? Golden ring with no tiny little stone wedding ring. Remember George Jones and Tammy Wynette? It looks like a golden ring in a field in the middle of nowhere on a chilly autumn day. A hussy sat there staring at the sky all the way. Oh my gosh. Wow, this is cool. You know, I'll be honest. I was wondering if it was worth coming all the way out here just to look at this. And it is! The only downside, I just realized, is that my solar panels probably aren't pulling in very many watts. Let's see. Golly, trying to charge a solar panel in an eclipse? What kind of dummy are ya? Oh gosh, yeah, only 5 watts. Woo-wee! Oh well, I'm gonna be driving all the dang day after this so I can charge my Jackery just with the engine. Oh, let's see. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I want to look at the sun. I mean, it's cool, but it just looks like a golden ring, you know? And that is amazing, and I've never seen anything like it. But it's kind of cool just looking around at the landscape. And gosh, it's frustrating because it doesn't seem like it's coming out on camera. Just like the weird filtered quality of the light right now. It's really, in a way, kind of unsettling. And it makes me understand how, like, you know, ancient peoples who didn't understand what was going on with the moon and the sun you know, it would have really made them freak out when something like this happened. Man, I bet there's all kind of hippies freaking out right now. In fact, I heard there's a big party up on the Black Rock Desert where the Burning Man festival is. There's a big eclipse party going on up there. But they're all rolling around in the muck. Well, it's dry now, but they're rolling around in the dust, freaking out about this eclipse. Whew, man, it did get real chilly though. My hands are freezing. Zip up my jacket, man. Oh gosh, this reminds me of like, have you ever heard of the worst year in human history? I think it was like 582 or something. There was a volcanic eruption somewhere, some huge volcano in Indonesia or someplace, blasted so much ash into the atmosphere that it pretty much blocked out the sun. I mean, not totally, but blocked out a lot of the sun for, gosh, I want to say the entire year. And so global temperatures fell by a couple degrees, and crops failed, and there was famine and war and pestilence, and the after effects of it lasted for like a decade or a whole generation, you know. So whatever you say about your life right now, you know, you might be having some problems, you might be falling behind on bills, you might be addicted to, you know, oxycodone, whatever. At least you didn't live your entire life back then during the worst year and the worst generation in human history. And as for me, I consider myself very lucky to be standing here in this gorgeous field, staring at the sun all dang morning long. Okay, well, unfortunately, you guys really can't see, but the moon is starting to move down away from the sun and let the warm rays of the sun shine on us again. Here comes the sun. Doo 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 doo. Actually, you know what else I noticed that I thought was kind of interesting is, well, it's totally silent here, which, you know, obviously I'm in this desolate valley. It's been pretty dang quiet all night and the whole time I've been here. But I don't know if you remember last night when I got here, there was all these lights of cars passing back and forth on US 50. I don't see any oh wait, hold on. I was gonna say I don't see any traffic at all, but I think I might see a truck driving out there. I don't know. Maybe that's just a building. Is it moving? No, it's moving. That's a truck. Man, goods gotta be moved. Truckers don't care about no solar eclipse. Well, it's interesting to think, like, I guess there probably are people who are working right now and have to be just driving around. Like, it's not like everybody gets a national 3-hour break to watch the eclipse. Well, again, how lucky am I? There she goes. The last little bit of moon moving below the sun. Wow, that's wild. If I think about what I actually just watched, I watched the moon pass right past the sun. Far out, man. I'm a space cowboy. Bet you weren't ready for that. I'm not a space cowboy. I'm not any kind of a cowboy. I'm just somebody who enjoys natural wonders. And now that this natural wonder is over, I guess I should go ahead and load my car and roll on to the next place. I actually have a long way to travel. I'm going all the way over to the Black Rock Playa, where they have the Burning Man Festival, because I wanted to check and see how they did on that cleanup process. You know, they're supposed to be done cleaning up that mess by October 10th. Here it is, October 14th. Well, it ought to be spick and span, so I'm headed over there. Gosh, it's already so much warmer. I took off my coat. Almost don't even need this hoodie anymore. Oh, I bet my solar panels are really getting some juice now. Let's see. What are they pulling in? Oh, 67 watts. How about that? Went from 5 watts to 67 watts. That ought to tell you the power of a solar eclipse. It ain't nothing to mess with. And that being said, I'm going to go ahead and tuck these eclipses back into the protective plastic wrap so that they're ready for the real eclipse next April. And if you thought this was cool, which I know I'm a nerd, but I did, wait till you see that one. Stay tuned.